Have you ever felt like every business coach out there is trying to sell you the same old funnel idea, just with a fancy name? I've been in this space for 10 years, helping practitioners demystify this business space and digital marketing. And I've seen amazing trauma-informed, body-based practitioners try and cram themselves into these boxes that don't really fit for us. For me, I never really liked the idea of a funnel. Maybe it's because I'm Australian and we have funnel web spiders here. But the idea of cramming a lot of people into the top and filtering them down this funnel just didn't sit right with me. So when I heard this concept of the marketing mountain, I took that on board for myself and designed a specific framework that is for my colleagues, and that's what I'm going to be unpacking on this video. The marketing mountain that I've created is specifically for professionals in the wellness, somatics, healing profession who understand that safety, timing, and trust matters more than pressure or sales tactics, the bro marketing that don't really sit right with these professions. The marketing mountain is a visual representation of the emotional journey your clients take from not knowing you to really feeling like they trust you, they know you, they feel safe with you, and therefore they're ready to buy. Which, when you compare it to a traditional funnel where it's from lead to conversion, where they don't really consider the client's readiness to buy, the mountain is relational. It meets people where they're at, honoring their pauses, their backslides, and their breakthroughs. And as a Feldenkrais practitioner, we understand that we want to meet people where they are at. Most funnels assume urgency. The mountain assumes humanity. One practitioner recently challenged me. She said, "Isn't it just a funnel rebranded?" And I get it. A lot of us are burnt out from this surface level frameworks, this bro marketing approach. Let's unpack why the marketing mountain is so much more than a rebranded funnel. So this is where nuances matter. The funnel is linear, whereas the mountain is cyclical and adaptable. The funnel prioritizes conversions. The mountain prioritizes connection. The funnel pushes urgency. The mountain cultivates readiness. Meeting people where they're at and guiding them to the next step up the mountain. The funnel assumes everyone's ready. The mountain builds safety and trust first. The funnel, here's one for my Feldenkrais colleagues, it ignores the nervous system. The mountain aligns with somatic principles. The funnel is extractive language. The mountain is client-centered story frameworks. This framework emerged after working with hundreds of practitioners, watching them try and sell their transformational work using transactional tools. And here's where the magic happens, where the real transformation occurs in the way you show up online and how you understand this deeply nuanced framework. When I overlay my StoryVision framework onto the mountain, it helps you understand what stories to tell for your clients at the various stages they're taking while they climb this mountain with you, the journey that they're taking. So step one, the ground level, is where most people are kind of unaware, or maybe they've just become aware. Their emotional need at this level is resonance and safety. So the story type here is trust-building stories. The next step up the mountain, the mid-climb, This is where people have become curious about what you offer, but they might be a little bit unsure. So their emotional need is hope and reflection. So we want to be telling desire-evoking stories. The next step, where they're near the summit, they're ready, but they're still a little scared. So this is where you want to build confidence and clarity. That's the emotional need at that level. And so this is the belief shifting stories. When you match your story to the person's emotional state, you stop pushing and you start resonating. So let's take a look at what that looks like at the bottom of the mountain, the trust building stage. This is the stage where people aren't even usually looking for your offer yet. They're actually wondering, am I even allowed to want something more? Their nervous system might be in shutdown, they'll be skeptical, and maybe even a little ashamed. And that's why trust building stories are essential. So here's a brilliant example of a trust building story from Sonia, who's in my coaching program, the Embodied Messaging Lab. She never said it out loud, but it was in the way she looked down when I asked her what she hoped to get out of the program. It was a long pause before she answered. It was in the way she chose each word. I just want to stay active, I guess. But as we kept working together, I saw what she really wanted. She wanted to go on that trip with her family, who kept inviting her. She wanted to walk on the beach without worrying her knee would give out in the sand. She wanted to feel playful again, like herself. Not like someone constantly calculating the risk of doing something fun. What she really wanted was to feel good in her body again, not betrayed by it, not limited by it. She didn't want to feel young again. She wanted to feel capable. She just didn't have the words for it at first. Most people don't. That's why I teach the way I do. Curious, clear, and kind. You don't need to arrive knowing anything in advance. I'll give you simple tools to rebuild trust in your body and explore movement that feels good. You'll want to keep going. No pain, no gain, pressure required. I know how heavy that first step can feel. And I've watched eyes widen in relief when someone realizes their body isn't broken after all. Let's get you to that moment. What I love about that story is it's quiet. It resonates. There's no hard sell, no pressure, no urgency. It mirrors what her audience is feeling without forcing them to name it. It builds safety, it normalizes uncertainty, and gently invites them forward. And that's the exact type of trust building story you want at the bottom, the base of the marketing mountain. And then we get to the midway point of the mountain on your client's journey. This is where they are curious, but they might still be a little bit unsure. So you want to create stories that are desire evoking, so it meets their emotional needs of hope and reflection. This is also where your value-based educational content can come in as well. This is also the stage where your clients know what they want, but they're also a little bit skeptical. They don't know if it will actually work for them. They're tired of programs that say they're going to help, and they might have invested in a number of different things that hurt more than they help. They might have worked for a little bit, but then they've gone to their old ways and their old patterns. So this is where you offer a new lens. And again, why your value-based content, your educational content tips are essential at this stage. And yet those educational tips are not going to shift your audience into reaching out to you. It's the story-based content that helps them resonate with you and builds trust. So let's take a look at Rachel's post now. Rachel is the joyful singing teacher. Amber came to me very frustrated about her voice and her body. Singing tenor just didn't feel aligned to her inner self. Slowly and gently, we explored ways to find ease in the sound she sought to make. We consistently return to the Feldenkrais principle of never using more than 20% effort. This thought confused Amber at first. Don't put effort into changing her voice? That sounds crazy. The principle comes from understanding that effort occurs when we encounter resistance and to try and plow our way through it rather than seek to ease around the obstacle or obstacles in a different way. By seeking minimal efforting while singing, Amber was able to find effortless singing, able to access the soprano notes that aligned with her inner self that brought her to joyful singing. The story doesn't push, doesn't offer a miracle, and doesn't shame the old way or the old system that the singer student might be used to. But it does something powerful. It evokes desire for a new way. It builds trust without ever saying, "Trust me." And most importantly, it names the pain without traumatizing the reader. Now we get near the summit, the top of the mountain. This is where people are ready, but they still might have that little bit of, "Well, I'm not too sure." And this is where belief shifting stories come in so that they can feel confident and they can have more clarity in what you offer. So now let me show you an example of the top of the mountain story. This is where someone, as I just mentioned, is ready to buy, but there might be something, an internal feeling, a belief system that may be holding them back. So let's check out Patricia's story. She is also in the Embodied Messenger Lab. Kat used to say yes to everything, even when she was barely holding it together herself. When her family wanted her to stay for a long visit, she froze. Last time she ended up crying in front of everyone, then spent days hating herself. Why couldn't she handle things that seemed easy for everyone else? Because she wasn't too sensitive, she was unsupported. Together we mapped her actual limits that turned them into kind but clear boundaries. I taught her simple nervous system tools that helped her stay grounded, even when things got noisy or emotionally charged. She didn't need to change who she was. She needed a way to honor it. The result, a calm, connected visit, and pride in how she showed up. Patricia's post isn't just a personal backstory. It's a belief-shifting story wrapped in a metaphor. She names a common false belief for her audience who are highly sensitive people. They don't need to be less sensitive. She replaces it with a deeper truth. They just need the support and tools of how to manage being highly sensitive. That's just not awareness level content. That's transformational level content. And that's when people reading this say to themselves, "That's me." And they're one step closer to feeling safe and trusting you're the person that can help them. And therefore, buy from you. When you match your ideal client's emotional state at the stage that they're in, you stop pushing and start resonating. Real talk. People don't buy because you're being persuasive. They buy because they feel seen by you. They trust you. And that's what the StoryVision Framework overlaid onto the marketing mountain is different. It softens objections instead of steamrolling them. It helps clients be seen in your words. It invites their nervous system to say, "Yes, I trust you." You don't need to force a funnel. You don't need to use bro marketing tactics. You need to create a sense of readiness. And that's where the StoryVision and marketing framework come into play for you. If any of this has resonated with you today and you're ready to create content that connects, I'd love to invite you to the Embodied Messenger Lab. This is where we take everything that you've seen today, apply it step by step with your stories to your audience and align it with your offers. And you don't even have to have an offer because we create high-end offers within the lab. You'll learn how to write trust-building, desire-evoking, and belief-shifting content that doesn't put pressure on the reader, but evokes a resonance. Whether you're brand new to marketing and understanding messaging, or you've been here a while, but you're not getting the results you know are possible, the lab gives you a structure that actually helps you feel good creating content, helps you move past that vulnerability and that feeling of, oh, I don't want to be too visible. We'll help you move through those, and it will get you results. If you're curious to learn more about the Messenger Lab and get started on creating content with my Aspires framework, join us in the Ignite Practitioner space, the link's below, so you can get a feel for my coaching, start using the frameworks, and find out more about when the Embodied Messenger Lab next round is beginning. I'd love to support you and your voice inside the Ignite space, or if you want to go deeper, join us in the Embodied Messenger Lab.